So here I've got the Flames of Revolution Ichiban Kuji set. We've got prizes A, B, C, and D here, and I'm actually in the process of rearranging my whole collection, which is why I have all of these unopened figures here. We've got the 4 Emperors Ichiban Kuji set, the set with Young King, Kaido, and Jack, and then also some Ichiban Kuji Wano figures, some emotional story figures, and some other older ones that I've just had sitting around for years, like the Arlong and Fisher Tiger. Really got to open those, but yeah, I'm setting up this Kuma shelf here, so I figured I needed to open these now to kind of get an idea of how I'm gonna set that shelf up, because I don't want to arrange all the shelves, move them, get everything exactly how I want, and then have like 20 figures to open and have to fit in there. So I'm going to try to kind of do it as I go along. So first we'll be opening prize D, which is this Kuma Pain Paul bubble thing. And I'm just really excited for this thing, maybe more excited than I am for anything else in this set. This is just a great thing. I love this moment, and look at it, it lights up and it's squishy too. Can't wait to see what it feels like. You could see on this side here, it says that it takes 3 AAA batteries. So let's get it out. Yeah, this is just the kind of thing, like, I would just never imagine or think that they'd make this, you know, like a little light up, squishy Kuma Devil Fruit Paul thing. But I'm so glad they made it, because this is gonna be like one of my favorite things in my collection. I can already tell, even though it's not even out of the plastic yet. I know it's going to be one of my favorite things. I'm probably going to want to get like multiples of these at some point. I'd love to have them in like different rooms as like just little lights, you know? But this one will be going in my collection, I'm sure. So here it comes. Look at that. Zoro is taped in there. Let me get him out. There he comes. Alright, so here he is. He's just a little piece of plastic, and there's nothing printed on the front, so just the back. And here is the Paul bubble itself. Let's see. Finally I get to fill this thing. Let's see how it feels. So how squishy. Hear the air like coming out of it. Is there a hole in the bottom? Must be a hole somewhere, like the air. Yeah, I can actually feel the air coming out of the bottom right here, like out of the battery compartment. Kind of weird, but whatever. Doesn't matter. But yeah, it feels pretty good. Look at squishy thing. It's amazing. Amazing. Now, I guess I should get the batteries in before I put Zoro on. Got this kind of not too great of a screwdriver here. It's pretty annoying to get this to work, but I just didn't get a better one. There is one in the house, but I didn't go and get it, so I'm using this damn thing. Alright, and there we've got the battery compartment and the 3 AAAs to go in. So we've got one like this, another this way, and the final one like this. Yeah, this is gonna go great in like my Thriller Bark shelf, or maybe my Kuma shelf, not sure exactly where. And my Thriller Bark shelf is just a absolute mess right now. I've just been piling stuff in there and never moving it off because I get so busy with other stuff. But let's see, let's turn the lights on for the first time right now. Here it goes. Just a little switch right here, you can see. Yeah, switch right here on the bottom to do it. So I'm going to turn it over and press that switch. Let's see. You can barely even see it with the lights on like that. Barely see it. So I'm gonna have to turn the lights off, but let's put Zoro on. So he just got this little slit right there. Just stick him in. And there we go. Nothing is about to happen. Here we've got it on some boxes now, and yeah, it is on, but you can't really tell. So let's turn one of these lights off and see how it looks. Let's see. Still can't really tell. Let's turn the other one off then. Just can't stop squishing this thing. I better stop though, or I'm gonna ruin it. And actually, here's a little clip I recorded with my phone. I feel like it does kind of capture the actual look of it better than the camera. So this is basically what it looks like to me. So yeah, I think this is like one of the best Ichiban Kuji ideas ever is this damn thing. I love it. And I'll add some video clips of it there in the shelf, and I'm sure it's just gonna look great. It can be used as like a nightlight or whatever. You can see it pretty brightly in the dark. If everything else is dark, it really does stand out. And next up is Koala, which is in this big, very thin, tall box. I think these figures might end up being bigger than I anticipated. I thought they'd be like, I don't know, smaller, but we'll find out right now. Let's see. And I did have the Portrait of Pirates Koala at one point. I just ended up getting rid of it, and then, you know, saw this one was coming out, figured might as well get a koala again. So here it is. Let's see. Let's get her out. Yeah, pretty tall figure. She looks about Portrait of Pirates height. And let's see her hair. So the hair looks to have some decent coloring in it. I always like when they put a few different shades in there. Like you can see the lighter orange in there, and then it gets darker towards the tips. That always gives it a really nice look as opposed to it just being, you know, plain with nothing there. And then her hat looks good, looks fine. Let's see there. She's got those little like goggles or whatever at the front of her hat there. I think those look good. They're kind of reflective. And then let's see her face. So the face looks fine to me. Maybe not the best, but I don't think it's bad either. And yeah, this is like my first impressions with this. This is my first time ever holding this figure. So maybe as I examine it more, my opinion will change, but looks good. Looks good enough to me. And now let's look at her body. So she's wearing the usual things she wears. Right now I can't think of, has she ever worn anything else? Probably. I just can't really think of it right now. So she's in the classic koala pose. I feel she seems to always be posed very similarly to this in many of her figures. And yeah, let's see her shirt. So it's a very pale pink there, and there are little bits of darker pink like in the folds and stuff towards the end of the sleeves and down there where it kind of has those little, I don't know what you'd call that, but that little design there at the bottom. So does have some slight variation of color, which I like, just like with the hair. Sometimes that's really all that's needed for a figure. Like, I can be satisfied with a figure like this, don't necessarily always need top of the line Portrait of Pirates. Like, if they just have a decent amount of little shading and color in there, then I'm happy with it, you know, as long as it represents the character well, looks like the character, and this one does to me. I like it. And then let's see her skirt. So she's got two little white specks on there, just little, you know, factory defects that you're going to pretty much find on any figure, especially prize figures, Ichiban Kujis, whatever. There's always going to be little small imperfections. Even on my Portrait of Pirates, I see little small things. So not something I really complain about if the figure's, you know, a cheaper figure like this, unless it's something, you know, really bad. But this is just like the, you know, regular thing I'd expect with a figure like this. Then at the bottom of the skirt, we can see this little design with some lines in it. Think it looks good. And then yeah, she's got her black like stockings on, and you can see them squeezing her thigh like just very slightly. So I thought that's a nice little detail that they're not just like flush with the leg, you know, you can see the thigh kind of very slightly squishing out at the top. Yeah, and then down to her boots, which are just one shade of brown. I think it looks like the soles might be a lighter brown. But yeah, I think these could have used a little bit more detail on them, like, you know, because I had the Portrait of Pirates, I was kind of used to that detailing. Of course, this is not going to have that level of paint job in it, so it's a pretty flat paint job from like the red skirt piece down. I haven't even got the stand out. Let's get it out. Oh yeah, her gloves. Let's see the gloves. So yeah, they're just, I can't even think of what color that is right now. It's kind of like a pumpkin color is the only thing I can think to compare it to right now. But yeah, they look fine. Just, you know, one shade there. And let's get her into the stand. Stick it in like that, push it down. Now it's in place and she stands fine, but how stable really is this going to be? Let's see. Not too stable, which is the case, you know, with these type of stands. I mean, they hold the thing fine, but if your room was shaking or whatever, probably fall over. But I do like the stand. It's just clear. It's pretty easy to just kind of ignore it, which is a good thing. Though I wouldn't mind if this came with like the, regular black kind of base. I would rather have a base like that than have a little stand like this that compromises on stability, because yeah, she does fall over very easily. All right, and now we've got Sabo, which is in a tall box as well, but his has a bit more depth to it, you can see there. And then the back, we've got all three of them: Sabo, Dragon, and Koala. And yep, let's get them open. This will be my first Sabo figure. I still never got a Sabo figure. None of them really like appealed to me, I guess, Don't really care too much for the like Dressrosa Sabo look. I mean, it looks good, I guess, but I prefer this look for Sabo. And I didn't care too much about him for the longest time. I'm only recently starting to kind of like him. Never really disliked him, but just like I said, didn't care for him really. But look at this. This looks pretty nice just in the box. Let's get it out. And here he is. This looks pretty nice. So here's the back of his coat, and it looks to have a little bit of like very subtle bluish highlights to it, which look great. Oh, look at that. He's standing up with no stand. Sabo's standing up without the stand right now. So let's take a look at his hair. A little clumpy looking, but I do like the paint job on it. Just like with Koala, they've got some lighter colors in there with the darker also, making it look pretty nice. And the face looks spot on to me. It looks just like Sabo. And then his whole shirt looks to be just flat colors, no like shading going on there, but looks good to me. I'm satisfied with this Sabo. Now let's look at his pants. Look to be just one color as well, as far as I can tell from here. And then the boots are just black with some gray soles. So yeah, what else to say about him? So there's his gloves. He's kind of putting his glove on. Yeah, I like this. I like the pose of this Sabo. Look at his thumb right there. It's just kind of like cut off. Looks like his thumb got cut off, but on the shelf, it's going to look great like this. Yeah, he's huge. He is huge, just like Koala. These are all going to be huge. I bet Dragon's going to be even bigger because his box is even bigger. Similar to Koala's. Let's see which leg this goes on. There we go. So I got it like flush with the bottom of his shoe, which is how it should be, I think. And let's see. Doesn't want to fall back quite as easily as Koala does. But it's still going to happen. If you tap it a little too hard, he will fall over. Now let's get Dragon out. Then after we're done with him, we can do some size comparisons. So here he is, Dragon, in his huge box. Well, it's not huge, but it's bigger than the other ones in the set. Biggest box in the set. Let's see. So the top has got this kind of flap on it, which Ichiban Kuji boxes tend to have. Once they get to a certain size, they'll have this different type of flap on the top. There's a lot of little layers of tape here to cut. Gotta cut there, and cut right there, and open up like that. Well, first we should get this. But yeah, it's Dragon finally, like a regular figure of Dragon. I'm sure there have been some like little very cheap ones in the past, but I don't think there's even been a Grand Line Men of Dragon still. Let's see. Yeah, so that's how these boxes open. I've had many boxes like this, so many. And yeah, I notice I'm buying a lot of Ichiban Kuji lately. I'm just like interested in every set coming out. And they just announced that Egghead set, which comes with, you've got Vegapunk, Luffy, who else? Bonnie, and the three of the little Seraphim. So cannot wait to get that set. I think it comes out in August. Yeah, I'm just really loving Ichiban Kuji lately. And here's Dragon. Look at that handsome bastard right there. Alright, let's get him out. Make sure I don't cut my finger off in the process, but here it comes. Maybe he's coming out, maybe not. Okay. Alright, let's get him out. Dragon is about to be freed. And here he is. Big old dragon here. Get the stand out right away this time because this box is taking up too much space on the table. And look at that cape here. It looks beautiful. This is the first thing that I noticed about him when I was looking at the promo images, was like his coat looked like it had a really nice amount of texture on it, and it just looks even better in person. It's green, of course, and then it's got those darker greens in there, giving it some shading. Just love this thing. And this is the type of texture I like. But yeah, look at this. I love it. It's all torn up. It's got little cuts in it. Then towards the edges, it's all cut up. And again, up here where it's kind of wrapped around his shoulders, all cut up, beat up. Looks really, really nice and worn out. I think they did just a great job at really capturing that look. Like I just said, I love the darker shadings on those areas. Really gives it like depth to it. And I feel like his head looks a little big. I don't know why. Maybe it's a little big, maybe it isn't. Doesn't ruin the figure for me. Just something that I thought of right now for whatever reason. Then yeah, he's got that little orange undershirt or scarf, whatever that is under there. And he's wearing this blue suit. Let's see. And yeah, the suit has a lot of little lines in it too. Not quite like the cape, coat, whatever that is, but it does kind of stay with that same style to give him a somewhat consistent look. Like if you compare it to Sabo, his clothing is very smooth looking, while Dragon looks all tattered and worn out. That's nice that they make Dragon a little different to really fit the look and feel of his character. Like, looks good from the front. And yeah, look at that. He's standing up without the stand. He stands up fine without it. And yeah, I just love the back view. Look at that. I think I almost like it better than the front, because like from the back it almost looks like some like really expensive high quality figure from the back because of how they did the coloring in this cape. But then you turn him around to the front, can easily see it's a cheaper figure. And yeah, let's look at the face. He's got that face tattoo, looks great, and then his spiky hair going back there. But yeah, he's huge, so he's not really gonna fit in with like Grand Line men and stuff. I mean, I'm thinking all these like Portrait of Pirate size. Okay, so Dragon stand goes on the right foot. Koalas and Sabo stand go on the left foot, while Dragon's is on the right foot. Let's see how much more stable he is. Oh, he doesn't fall back as easily as the other two. Oh, there it goes. Yeah, they're all gonna fall over. All right, so just don't hit them, don't tip them, and they'll stand fine. And he is kind of heavy. He's the heaviest out of the three, I think, so he's not quite as easy to knock over. He tends to fall more forwards than backwards, actually. Sabo and Koala both want to fall backwards, but Dragon will kind of tip back and then fall forwards. Alright, so here are all three of them together, and I think they look great. It looks like it's designed for Sabo to be on this side of Dragon, then you got Koala over here. It really fits really nicely like this. How does it look the other way? You can really do it any way you want. They look good switched with the side switch too. Sabo looks good there. Koala looks fine there. So since I'm rearranging my whole collection, I figured I'd just pile a whole bunch of stuff in here. We've got King of Artists, Shichibukai DX, Ichiban Kuji of so many different sizes. You know, there's Whitebeard, Gear 4 Luffy, and of course the 3 Revolutionary Army figures, and there's some sculptures, S-cultures, however you say that. And yeah, just Grand Line Man, Grand Line Lady, just everything kind of mixed in there. And oh yeah, the Figure Art Zero Snake Man there too. So I actually kind of like this, but this should give you a good idea of what these 3 figures look like surrounded by all these different sizes. And here's a new setup of figures. We've got some Portrait of Pirates in there, some King of Artists, and this Komurasaki. I think she looks really good with like Portrait of Pirates, but if you look at Koala and Perona there, Koala is just out of scale with the Perona that it really kind of stands out to me. And then Dragon and Kuzan are about the same height. I mean, they can fit with Portrait of Pirates fine. They just look a little bit oversized in my opinion. But yeah, these are masterized figures, so that'd be the line that they would probably look best with. And now I've got to get back to opening up this pile of figures.